In this video, I'm going to be going over all the important things that are going to be going on in Pokemon Go during this week, including a water festival event as well as a summer concert event, which is going to be happening on top of it. Yeah, it's going to be a very busy week and we need to get into the details. Let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon Go video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's get right into it. So this is going to be a packed week. There's going to be a whole bunch of different events, and some of them are actually going to overlap on top of each other. We are, of course, going to be getting the Water Festival event this week, and we're also going to be getting something called the Summer Concert event, which is going to be happening at nighttime. I really am excited about this whole week because on top of these events being something that a lot of players could get behind, there's actually going to be some new Pokemon as well as the return of a Gigantamax Pokemon, which is actually incredibly useful when it comes to Dynamax battles. But first, let's talk about the Water Festival event, because I think this is going to be the major crux for all the content during this week. The Water Festival event is going to be happening July 15th at 10 o'clock a.m. until July 20th at 8 o'clock p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon are going to be Curly Form Tatsugiri, which is going to be in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, Droopy Form Tatsugiri, which is going to be in the Americas, and then Stretchy Form Tatsugiri, which is going to be in the Asia Pacific region. Now, these are going to be the wild encounters during this event, and yeah, there's going to be a lot of water-type Pokemon. You're going to encounter Squirtle, Slowpoke, Krabby, Staryu, Magikarp, Marill, Barboach, Clamperl, Buizel, Finneon, and Wimpod, and then as uncommon spawns, you're going to see Lantern, Feebas, Palpitoad, as well as Tortuga. And then in 1-star raids, we're going to see Shelder, Ducklet, and one of the various forms of Tatsugiri depending on your region. And then of course there's going to be new avatar items and collection challenges themed around this event. Now also spawning in 3-star raids, this is something you should pay attention to, we're going to see Kingler, Gyarados, Lapras wearing a scarf, as well as Azumarill. Now, what's key here is that Lapras wearing a scarf is going to be a unique Pokemon, and you do have the chance of getting a special background. I do think this is going to be one thing that could be worth your raid passes. It's going to be a very unique catch, and you can potentially get a shiny, which will definitely be a really cool find and a really cool addition to your collection. Now during this event, we're going to see the following event bonuses. Any Rainy Lure module that you use is going to last for 2 hours, and that totally makes sense considering that this is a water type themed event. And then any Pokemon you catch is going to give you increased candy if you catch it with a nice throw or better. And then you're going to have an increased chance to get shiny Staryu and shiny Tortuga. And then, of course, like I mentioned, Lapras wearing a scarf caught from raids may have a seasonal special background. There's also going to be a paid timed research for $4.99 USD, and you're going to get yourself a Rainy Lure module, an event-themed avatar pose, as well as encounters with event-themed Pokemon, including Gyarados, Lapras wearing a scarf, and more. Now regarding whether or not this paid ticket is worth it, I will say that if you were planning to spend any money to get raid passes to raid for Lapras wearing a scarf, then yeah, it would be worth it, because you're going to be getting one anyway, and then you do get the avatar pose and a Rainy Lure module. But if you just feel like you're going to get more value out of purchasing raid passes, then that's probably the way you should go. These sort of paid research tickets are very seldom worth the money. Probably the only draw is going to be the avatar pose, considering that it is going to be a unique and exclusive cosmetic item. But aside from that, I don't necessarily know if it's going to be worth it for you, but that's something you can determine on your own. Now, happening on July 19, which is going to be this Sunday, there's going to be a Gigantamax Lapras Battle Day. And this is actually going to be an interesting one because it's going to be pretty similar to the last time we had a Gigantamax Lapras Battle Day, but this time around, we're going to have our Crown Sword Zacians and Crown Shield Zamazentas that we can use. This is basically going to be like a test run for those Pokemon, which a bunch of you probably got recently with Pokemon Go Fest, so I do think it's going to be a very fun weekend, and it's definitely going to drive out a lot of players. Now, on top of the Water Festival event, and as well as this Gigantamax Lapras Battle Day, we're also going to be getting something called the Summer Concert event, and this is actually going to be happening coinciding with all of the water event festivities, but it's actually going to be happening at night. Let me explain. The summer concert event is going to be happening between July 19th to July 22nd from 5 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. every single day. So these event bonuses and everything going on with this event is only going to be for 3 hours every day, but it's going to be around the nighttime, which I think is very unique and interesting. Now, the featured Pokemon for this event is going to be Spinda and Chatot, and Chatot is, of course, a regional Pokemon, but now it's going to be available worldwide through this event. Now, during this event, we're going to see the following event bonuses, and it's very simple. 1 hour lure modules are going to be happening during this event, and lure modules are going to attract Jigglypuff, Lotad, Kricketot, Chatot, Audino, Noibat, and Poplio. Now, the obvious standout is going to be Chatot, being a regional Pokemon, and it's also going to have an increased shiny chance, the ones that you get from these lures. And then, of course, Audino is a Pokemon that gives you just an insane amount of Stardust, so the fact that you're going to be able to catch that Pokemon also makes this event somewhat worth it. Now, there's also going to be field research task rewards during these 3-hour periods where you're going to be able to get Spinda encounters, and they're going to have various patterns, except for the heart pattern. Now let's switch gears and talk about the weekly content, starting with tonight's Max Monday. It's going to be featuring the Pokemon Dynamax Wailmer, and unfortunately this is not necessarily one that's going to create any kind of impact. Especially with this weekend that we're getting Gigantamax Lapras once again, I don't necessarily feel like you need to go all out for Dynamax Wailmer. But if you want this particular Pokemon, just know that there's going to be a Max Monday tonight from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time, in which you're going to see a whole bunch of Dynamax Wailmers appearing in max battles. Now, happening tomorrow for Spotlight Hour, we're actually going to be getting one with Feebas, and it's going to be from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time. The bonus for this particular Spotlight Hour is going to be a 2x candy bonus for catching Pokemon, which I don't necessarily feel like is going to be an impactful bonus, especially for a Pokemon like Feebas. Next, let's get into this week's rating content. So, there's going to be a really major legendary boss that you do not want to miss out on, and it is, of course, going to be Terrakion. Unfortunately, I do not know if Terrakion is going to have the move Sacred Sword, and you really do need that move to unlock its full potential, but I do think it's worth using an Elite TM, so yeah, you will at least get an opportunity to get yourself a shiny Terrakion or even a Shundo Terrakion. Do not miss out on this legendary raid boss during this week. And of course, considering that it is going to be in 5-star legendary raids, that means this Wednesday's raid hour is going to be featuring Terrakion from 6 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. local time. Now, in terms of Mega Evolution raids, we are of course going to be getting a Mega Evolution that is a counter to Terrakion. It's going to be Mega Blastoise. And we haven't seen this one in a very long time, so it is a great opportunity for you to get that Mega Energy for this Pokemon so that you could fill up your Pokedex. And then on the weekend, we are of course going to continue to have Shadow Registeel in 5-star Shadow raids. This is actually a legendary Shadow Pokemon which could have some uses within PvP. So if you want to get yourself one, get a couple of friends together and go raid a couple of these on the weekend. It's a great opportunity for you to get yourself a really powerful Shadow legendary Pokemon. And then finally, let's close this off by talking about what's going to be happening within the Go Battle League. So, until this Tuesday, we're going to continue to have the Ultra League along with the Hisui Cup Great League Edition, but afterwards we're going to have the Open Master League with a 4x Stardust bonus for win rewards, and then you're going to have the Sunshine Cup Great League Edition. If you have some really good teams for any of these leagues, then I do suggest you get some battles in because we are a little bit after halfway through the season, so yeah, it would be good to get your rankings up right now. So yeah, there you go. This is going to be a very packed week of content within Pokemon Go, and I'm really excited about it. The Water Festival event every single year tends to draw a lot of interest, mainly because there's going to be a whole bunch of spawns like Magikarp, as well as some water types that we do not often see. And I really do think that this year, because they're adding Tatsugiri, it's most certainly going to be interesting, considering that this is going to be a regional Pokemon that you can only get from raid battles. And yeah, I know that's going to draw some controversies. I know some players are really unhappy anytime Niantic locks certain Pokemon behind raiding content, but I still think this is all cool. I think Tatsugiri is definitely an interesting Pokemon, and overall, I think the format of this event is actually pretty good. But that's just my own personal opinion. Of course, let me know what you think about everything that's going to be happening this week down below in the comments. Are you really excited about all the content? Or do you feel like this week is one you can skip? Definitely share your reasons for thinking that in the comments down below, and let's have a great discussion. Thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and don't forget that notification bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. Real quick, let me give a shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you can do that is going to be by joining my Patreon. And if you become a paid Patreon member, I'm going to add you to my Pokemon GO friends list. That means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts. If you want to play Pokemon GO with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way that doesn't involve joining a membership to Patreon, then I suggest going and following me on social media. That's the next best way you can support me. I'm on the platforms you see on the bottom of your screen. My handle is @CountJinsula. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow, and you'll have access to some exclusive content, and you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. With all that said, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you all later.
Jinsula